Hello, hello, hello. It's Erin Reed from Art and Makes, and today we're going to make a totally cute, out of this world shaker card. Look at this. We're actually going to change a couple things from this one to the one that we're going to do together, but I just thought this was so funny because it's a little cow that's like flying off into space. It's adorable. Okay, so I've already done a couple of things. The first thing is I have already cut out this element on the black paper. So I have taken the black paper from here and I've added the die cut. And this all comes from this kit, but truly you could just cut out a triangle, or for this particular card, you wouldn't even have to cut and make it a shaker. You could just cut out a triangle out of yellow paper and make it a build a scene. So there's lots of different ways that you can kind of turn this card into something else, which I think is totally fun. Say hi if you've gotten on. Hello, hello. All right, so all I did is I placed where I wanted to have my card. I wanted to match the background of these really cute shaker stars. So I found some old Bow Bunny paper that I had in my stash. And I love this paper because one side it's got dots and then the other side it's plain. So we actually are using that paper a couple of different times for the trees and stuff, just because I can get more than one color out of it, even though it's the same color. So I placed my background paper. And then I placed where the background is. So we're going to build this all together. And then I'm like, okay, where exactly, because I want to fit this on here, do I want to see my little, I don't know, whatever you call it, the beam, to beam up here, the little beam going up. Hi, Malin. So I placed that on here, and then I just went ahead and die cut that. And I did that ahead of time. So that is easy. That is done. And this die does come in the set. Pull this off. All right, so now it's time to start kind of building this out. So fun, so easy. And again, you could do this a couple ways. I'll give you some tips. If you don't have this set, you're like, that's a cool idea. There's 2 different ways you can do this card without having to have the set. You would need to have some sort of like outer space stuff. And I didn't even use this little guy on this card. And I think it's totally adorable. And that's like a whole nother card that I could do. So I was just using the beaming up set part, which is fun. Okay, so the first thing is we are going to need to build the back of the card. I love layers, and I just thought when I originally built the card, just having it black on here, let me go up a little bit, just having it black on here was just a little too plain. Hi, Riza. Hi, Matt. Madalena. Is that right? Madalena? I think that's right. I'm sorry if I say it not wrong. I'm kind of glancing really fast as I look at my screen. It was just too dull, and there was purple, and I just felt like it needed to have something, and I was like, and then I looked through my stash, and I found the perfect purple. So we're going to add the purple in the background. I just think it looks really cute for everybody who's getting on and building this little guy. So it's a build a scene / shaker, but you could take the shaker part out if you wanted to. And we're going to tweak one little thing in the end. I like the dots, but you could go with the plain. This is the double dots from Bow Bunny. So cute. So, well, I guess we're doing the plain. I did the dots on that card, so now you can see the difference. So here you can just barely see it. I meant to do the dots on this card too, and then I didn't. Whoops. And then for this card, the one I'm doing differently, I'm adding a little barrier of white on the edge. For this one, I went all the way to the edge. So there's lots of things that you can tweak and twiddle and have fun with that. Okay, so next we are going to place our little beam going up, the beam me up for the little cow. And I want to make sure this paper is got a texture on one side. I want to make sure that I have the flat side because we're going to stamp our cow on there. So I want about there, and I made it much bigger than it needed to be, which is totally cool. So we're going to place that down first. So this is all like behind the scenes part of the card that you're not going to see. It is an adorable cutie card. And I'm going to show you some tips about how to do some of the other elements on here for building a scene. Because sometimes building a scene is a little bit like, how do I go about it? Where do I do? Let me give you some tips. So one tip, make your scene smaller. So here's the first tip about building a scene. Make your scene smaller by shrinking up the space that you have to work in for the scene. And then you don't feel like you have so much to fill in and make it. If you make the card too big and the space for your scene too big, it's going to feel very daunting. So make it smaller. So instead of going for the full length of the card, give yourself a couple of mats and then your scene is smaller. So easy tip right there. Okay, so now we have that element on here. I'm going to very lightly take a little bit of washi tape and just to make sure this piece does not roll around on me because we're going to stamp our cow, but we're not ready to put this piece on yet. So I just want to make sure that all my pieces and where I want to line up, and it doesn't have to be super perfect because I have a big enough space here. So we're going to get our little cow think it's so cute. So it's just, it came from the stamp set. I just think it's so funny. And it's a stamp and die set that comes together. So up on the top here are the dies, and the other dies I already have set up for when we're going to die cut them, which are the stars, the spaceship, and the planet. And then you get the big guy here, oops, this little guy here, and then you also get the laser beam that comes up. So you get all, here, see here, you get the little guy, which I'm not even using on this card. Totally something different here. Where is my ink? There it is. All right, so we got our ink here, and I'm just using black, make life simple, and make sure my cow is orientated the correct direction, and just come in and stamp our little cow. That was not a very good stamp. That's a crappy stamp. I think I have enough yellow. I really don't like that. It's too just smashed, and the cow is kind of the main figure of this. So we're gonna, I know I'm gonna be stamping. Okay, we're gonna get another piece of yellow. I got more yellow. Get yourself a good stamp, because that's like kind of the key element here. So I actually cut mine much nicer when I did it for real, but I have all my papers sitting right next to me here. Is that still gonna work? Yippers. Okay, so let's stamp this. No, I need to put the thing on there. So we'll reglue it down. If first don't succeed, try again. All right, so let's put our paper on here again. I did a much better job stamping. If you want to pull out your stamping platform, that's cool too. I pushed too hard on my stamp. I know exactly what I did wrong. I was trying to get a really good impression and I just overdid it. You don't need to push that hard on your stamps. There, see, much better, cow. Yay, cow. Good afternoon. Stopping to say hello, hello. You'll be quiet as we'll be done. Well, I'm glad you're watching. Thank you. All right. I'm also happy that you're crafting. Yay. It really does relieve the stress of everything that's going on in our lives. I tell you what. Okay. So now we are going to build our shaker part. So we have all this down. The next step is I have taken this is called a deep edge die. And this is by Crafter's Edge. And I've used this a ton of times. And all I did is I took, and there's a square, there's a circle, this happens to be the rectangle. I took a big sheet of crafting foam, as you can see here, and you just place it on there and then you die cut it. And it die cuts out all the different already double-sided adhesive crafting foam to be these concentric rectangles. So I already have a whole bunch of these left over. I didn't have to die cut anymore. These are pieces that were left over from previous cards that I have made. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to place it down, and I'm going to place it around the space where the shaker card part is going to go. I just want to very lightly, and then check. See, it's too high. So this is the part where all the shaker bits. I'm just placing, and then I'm going to put this layer on to make sure I can't see the foam. So all my shaker parts are going to be in here, but this is the only window you're going to see. So there's going to be more pieces that are not visible. So that looks good. The second part is that I don't just want to have, oops, we're going to have to kind of twiddle this a bit. I don't just want to have a one foam piece. So I'm going to take a second foam piece, but I'm going to have to tweak this because I had to lower that a little bit. Totally cool. So I'm just going to take the bottom part of this. All I'm doing is I'm building up so my card doesn't look too flat. And so I've got some more, otherwise, so here's the deal. If I just put this on here, all of a sudden you've got parts of your card that don't have any kind of backing to it. So you want to give it some sort of backing. And since I'm already putting foam down on this part, I'm just going to keep on adding it. I could add it to here. It would be totally fine. Whatever works for you. So I'm just building up a little bit of extra foam here. Again, I'm not pushing too far because I want to make sure that when I place this guy on, I want to go this way. I cut and I needed a new blade. So I've got that little edge right there. So look, I'm good. And then I'm going to take this piece and just go right across the bottom. And I'm not taking the foam off yet because I still want to build my card. Now, I may not be able to keep that on there. Nope, can't keep that. So I'm good. I'm just going to take a couple little snips here. And now I can kind of use up. So you can cut this stuff up all you want. We'll leave that in there. I want a little bit extra just down here at the corner here. There we go. And I use all the bits of this foam stuff. Oh my gosh, I use all of it. So you know what? I'm going to replace this and just put the bigger piece in here. And then I'll put one right here. There. Okay. Actually, no, because then it's going to get in the way of all the shaky bits. So just shove it in. Really don't need this piece. I just don't want to have it loose getting caught on anything on my desk. Okay. Now we got that done. Now it's time to build the shaker. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this card around and I'm going to add in acetate to this side. Okay, so we don't want everything to fall out because if we build our shaker and then just put this down right here, all of our bits are going to fly out. So we need a window. So this is some acetate that's got some blue on it, just so you can tell that it's protected. Because if they give you acetate or cling or whatever film you want to use, your clear film that doesn't have a protection on it, or it's not in a stack that's got paper that's protecting, it can get scratched. So all I'm doing is I'm taking the edge of my scissors and it's got blue on both sides. I just cut it with my scissors so it would fit to the size that fits my window. And some of you are like, well, what if you don't have that particular, whoops, there goes a thing falling to the ground. It's okay. What if you don't have this die, but you like the concept of the card? Well, you can always kind of free sketch with, like, if you've got a straight edge blade, you could free sketch that out. I think the die is so much easier personally, but I understand. Oh, see, look, I scratched it. See how I scratched that? That's why that protective film is there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Do you see it right there? I scratched and I do not want that. So I have actually some extra film and it's right smack in the middle. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So this is what the film full sheet looks like. So I just want to cut enough. There we go. But if you've got other dies that you could put in the middle, think about some other shapes that you could probably get away with that might work. All right, I'm going to use a different tool this time. This is why I actually pulled this tool out. I don't even know how I scratched it. Probably was not paying it. If I go back and watch this video, I'll be like, oh, that's how I did it. I was being silly and I did something stupid. And inevitably, it's always me doing something stupid. All right, so I think I got, now flip. And pull off the other side here. There we go. So that's what the blue film is for, is to stop you from doing exactly what I just did. Now, I need to make sure that this barrier is nice and tight. So I'm going to run my adhesive going all the way around my opening here. And then place, get rid of that extra big stuff because I pushed too hard. And then make sure this is clean. And if you want to get some of your anti-static powder or something on there, you're totally welcome. All right, so now I have the window, which still has something stuck to it. That's going to go right there, right? And then we're going to build our scene after we put this on. So we're going to build from the bottom up. And I cannot seem to organize my card if I'm looking at my computer screen, so I'm going to keep looking down. All right, so now we're going to put all of our bits in. Now, if you look at the original card that I had, I have placed some fun little doodads inside of here. So in our plan, and this was my thought process when I was building this particular shaker card. When the laser beam comes down, not only is it beaming up, but some things might get sucked down, hence why the stars are coming down. But you're also going to have things getting sucked up. So some stars are going to fly down, so we need some stars. And I did not add enough of my shaker elements to this card because the window is bigger than the space. So I'm going to overfill a little bit. These are all, look at these super cute shaker bits. These are from, this is called the Galaxy set. This one's the Shooting Star. And then we also have Milky Way, which these are like little tiny, look how tiny these are. They're so cute. So I figure we're going to have stars falling through the portal because we're having a portal that goes all the way up into space, right? But as the cow is getting sucked up, it's not just the cow. We're going to have grass. So I thought, because this was the perfect color match, it was not even intended. It just happened. So these are actually the margarita sprinkles. They're from the margarita set, but I thought it looked like little pieces of grass. So little pieces of grass are going to go flying up. So we've got to have some shooting grass. And then, and I didn't do it for this card because I totally didn't think about it until after the fact. We've got some trees. Well, how are you going to get just a cow without the trees? The cow might be around. So I'm going to die cut a couple of trees. And this is we're going to come back to adding more of these. This is a punch that I have from ages ago. I mean, this is a McGill Craftivity. Probably somebody gave it to me at some point. But if you've got little dies that are trees, or if you've got something like this. So I have two different colors that we're going to be adding our trees to. and it's got two little trees on here. So we're just gonna punch. And so inevitably trees are gonna go flying up. So we're gonna add a set of trees in there as well, just for something fun. So we've got trees, we've got cow, and we also have the stars. So we've got like interaction going back and forth. So have fun with your shaker elements. To me, this is one where if you kind of play with what's in there, it makes sense. And like what you can put in there, you can put paper, you can put whatever you want. So now all we need to do is place this on here. There's enough adhesive. I do not need to put adhesive anywhere else. So it's just a matter of taking off all the foam. It's a little more because I've got pieces I've cut versus just the nice big layer. And I'm going to do all the outside bits first. There we go. So cool. Now, what if you don't want to do the shaker elements? So totally fine. Some people like shakers are just not my jam. Then you can totally do the build the scene, and you can do the card anyway. You would just do this triangle on top. So you would do almost everything that we're doing. And I just place this on here, center it really well, and boom. And then now you've got your cow and the trees and everybody's flying around. And I really filled this well because look how much higher it goes. So you can really see all the bits that are coming through. And that was left over because it popped out the other way around. So there is our little shaker cow. Woohoo, he's beam me up, Scotty. Okay, now it's time to build the scene. The first part I want to do is I want to build my grass. So I found this Bow Bunny paper, and it was this perfect color that I wanted fun, vibrant, really to counteract with the green that was in the background. So we're going to just build our own grass. And the first layer that you're going to do, and I love this paper because it's got the swirlies, but then I can flip it over and I've got the dots. So it really does give me a double bang for my buck in terms of colors. I just love the Bow Bunny stuff. I have scads of it and I hardly ever pull it out. So I'm pulling it out. I have a piece left over already. That's right here. And what I wanted to make it look like it was doing is that it was beaming up from behind a hill. So you're like, you were standing far away watching this whole scene happen from a distance. So I wanted to intentionally, and I think I'm going to use this piece right here, intentionally hide the beam so it didn't have these gaps behind a hill. So hills are so easy. All I did, and I can just do a little bit of an extra, is I just come in and I just go like this, just like that. And for this one, I did like a hill this way, and then I did a dip. So when I cut this off, I think I already have this almost size. So yeah, so look, it's just, I just want to hide right there. So I got to cut this down so it'll fit right in here. Oh, I cut that too short. It's okay. So I'm going to trim my hill here because I don't want this to be too high. I don't want to cover up too much of my window. I just want to cover up the bottom part of this. This is where you can kind of play, and I'm a little too long, so I can trim that up in a minute. There we go. So I'm just at the edge there, right? Ta-da. See if I can eyeball that. Did I eyeball that correctly? Hey, pretty good. So there's the first one. And I want it just at the edge. I don't want to cover up too much of my window here, right? So here we go. And I wanted the background to be, come on, tape runner. I wanted the background to be the solid color, and then the dots to be the one in the front. So I'm just lining this up so that this fits and covers up that edge right there. And that's just me. I like it that way. There we go. And then because we're doing 2 layers of grass here, it's going to allow me to layer in the trees that we're going to add in a minute. So now I want to do one where I've dipped up. I want to do one where I'm going to, let's see. If I don't like it, I can always do it again. See, it's just little waves. And then you place that down, and I totally made these too long because I changed my path. That's really too matchy for me, so I'm going to redo that. I might like this better. Yeah, see, so, oh, it's still matchy. I play around with it, so I'm going to go up and then down and then up. Let's see, so it's just waves. And I keep cutting. Ah, that's better. So see how I've got all these different layers, and I want this to come up like that. So I need to trim this off. I need to trim like about 1/4 of an inch. So I keep playing with my waves until I'm like, yep, that looks good. And then I'm just going to trim off the bottom here so it fits. And I got to trim off a little bit because I made my mat smaller when I first cut my papers. Hopefully that's the right amount. I have all these little bits of green everywhere. Let's see, did I cut that correctly? There we go. See, now it looks like little grass, like little hills, rolling hills. And if you change up your colors, even if you use the same color green, it still has that look. Oop, I'm still a tiny bit too long. Tiny, tiny bit too long. And if they overlap, see, that looks awesome. I like that. And then place it on. Now it's time to add our trees. All right, and I go all the way right to the edge, all the way to the edge, right? Ta-da. All right, you guys are quiet today. Super quiet. Nobody's in chatty mode. I know why one of you isn't. You're just listening while you're crafting. Love that. So your hands are busy. What's up with the rest of you? Okay, so now we're going to build our trees going in here. So obviously we have some trees flying up into our outer space, but we want to build a scene. And this is super simple. If you were going to do something that had, maybe it was like a farmhouse or whatever, this idea of the grass, so simple and so easy. It works hands down every time. I don't even feel like I need to go get some special dyes or anything for grass because that's just, it's easy. Now, if you wanted to do like blades of grass, that's different. This is like if you're doing a big scene. The downside of these really old punches is they punch, they take forever, they're hard to punch. So I need to do about 4 or 5. I'm going to do, well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to punch out, and I keep tearing off the bottom because it makes it easier for me to get my punch in. I really should have made this piece wider so I could have just gone horizontally with it. Oh, I may be able to fit it. Uh-oh, did I lose one? I don't know. I think, no, I'm good. And then I can go this way. And then because this is the double dots, there we go. I'm going to do one more of the dark green just because it's different than the grass. So I wanted to have a little bit of a difference of color, but I also wanted my trees to have some depth of color for having, because not all trees are this exact same shade. Hey, hello, hello. I got, yeah. Hey, hi, Elizabeth. Okay, sorry, I had to like read the sentence real fast as I'm trying to say hello. Okay, so now before I put the trees in, I also, because I have this done, and then it makes it really easy for me to put everything into my sticker maker. We're going to die cut out, and I've already prepared and colored my planet, and you guys can see. So we have my planet, and I put the die on there already. This goes on the bottom. And then I have my spaceship, and I just pick colors that look like they were complementary. This is the same background paper as what's behind the cow. And so this is a die that comes with it, and it's a whole bunch of little stars. And I'm going to double do that because this little mini maker can cut through 2 layers, which is awesome. So I'm just going to run this guy through, and I can fit everything in one pass, which is awesome. I love it. Can just sit on my desk. But I can get a lot done with just one pass because it's just that much bigger. And I'm going to put everything back on my magnetic sheet so I don't lose my dies. I've done that way too many often. And hunting around, I still have not found one of them. Oh, I'm stupid. I put my die cut piece instead of my die over there. I am still missing a die that I saw myself using it on camera. I had it, and I don't know where it went. It is missing. So here's the first piece cut out, and then here's, it goes right through the second. And then because it got sandwiched, it looks like you only have 4 stars. They're actually stuck together. So just kind of rub them. I found that for most of them, they just get stuck together. So just pull them apart. And I may not use every single little star. And I'll tell you my rationale behind how I placed everything in the space. Come apart. And again, sorry for getting on a little bit late today. Okay, that one does not want to come apart. I don't know why. Ugh. It's okay. It's just a thick star. We're going to go with that. I just didn't have my rear end gear. Okay, so we have our trees, And again, if I don't use all the trees, it's all good. Now with the trees, because we have the 2 layers of the paper, we're going to do some on this side and some on that side. Sometimes I have to put those big old punches in the floor. Yeah, see, the punches are a pain in the tuchus sometimes. I know there's a special tool too. So whatever. Anyway, what I'm going to do is as I put my trees in, I'm going to make sure that sometimes I put the trees, the dots are up, and sometimes I put the trees, the dots are down. So it gives me 2 different sides to orientate my trees. So I think I've done mostly, and I'm using way too much of my sticker maker. I can load way more in here. There we go. That's a little bit better. Some dots up, some dots, and it doesn't really matter if I don't do it perfectly. Place my little spaceship in there. So I'm just turning all of these into stickers. And then I also have my stars in here. So we're gonna get my stars. Okay, my fingers just do not want to function today. It's like, oh, small things. No, don't like you. And then these little guys did not want to pull up. Oh, there it goes. Now it's caught inside. There it goes. Okay. Did you guys see it? It was like it fell inside and then I pulled it up. Where did I get the cute? This little guy. This is a Xyron. And this guy it's their 3-inch sticker maker. So they have the 1.5 and it looks like the X. And they also have, and then they changed it up and to save, they cut one. So it's basically in half. So there's a 1.5, but then there's the 3. And I like the 3 because I can fit more. I have all of them, but I can fit the 3. I feel like I can fit more stuff in it, especially like bigger die cuts that I have. I'm also going to pull a few of these stars and pop these in just to kind of tie in because they look like little stars. Because like I said, the stars are coming, to me, the portal is like pieces are going down and pieces are going up. So I want to have the stars going both ways. So I'm just popping in the last little few. And if I don't use them all, I don't use them all. But if I do, great. So just turning everything into a sticker. Shaker bits can totally be stickers. Can totally be elements on a card. There we go. And then rub everything. So now I'm not losing all my little bits everywhere on my card. Yay. All right, so now we're getting back into the nitty gritty of how to build the card. All right. Now I know that Xyron is on hiatus right now with everything that's going on. They've actually put some of their people on furlough just because they are trying to be safe and cautious. So whatever stores had the supplies in stock at the time, if they are out, they are out. And I don't know what the status is of them, but they'll be back. They're not going anywhere. They're just being safe because they're in Arizona. That's where they're based out of. So actually, but they might be, no, they're in Arizona. They were talking about moving, but all right. Was there another question? No. Okay. So now I'm going to build from the bottom up. So I'm going to start with my trees. I'm going to start with the bigger trees and I'm going to start like just tucking. I didn't overly stick. Here we go. And if you have little extra cobwebs, they'll just pull off. You know what? No big deal. Some people are like, oh, I don't like those. It's all good. You know, you can always take your fingers and kind of rub through. To me, it's much easier than trying to get out glue and then they get it dry and then, ugh. All right. And then place, so this is why having the 2 layers. So now I can have trees that are higher and lower and I can place them going in different directions. And then I'm going to have another little guy go right here. And if I need another tree, no, I'm going to have that one be the darker color. I didn't make any of my trees solid on the little guys. That's okay. I made them all the dots. So look, so now you're creating a little forest on the side here. And I'm going to do one more big tree right here. So I'm kind of going all the way up until the point where the laser beam. So if you didn't want to have this be a shaker card, you could cut this to be in the yellow, stamp your little cow on there just over top of the black, and then still build all the rest of this card. It just wouldn't have the shaker element on the inside, which is totally fine. It would look cute either way. So now I'm going to build going this direction. Start going here. And I'm just going right up to that edge of the tree line. And I'm going to do the big guy coming through here. So right in here. And then add some of my little guys. Oh, I need another So the cool thing about having the two different sized trees is that it looks like some of them are further away or some of them are closer, even though they're really not. They're just different sized trees. It's an illusion. Yay for illusions. So just keep building it up. And I need one more right there. And I'll do the darker one again. There. So it's like a little, and I'm going to put, I have one more tree. I can put that right here, and it looks like it's kind of finishing off my little forest. So that's how you can build trees. And I did go 5 and 5, but I kind of look at the fact that this would be the number 11, so it makes it the odd amount, so it works. And at the very top of your lift off, you've got to have your spaceship who's lifting everybody up. And then you got to have your planet off in the distance, and I did not die cut that very well, so I might rip that off after we're done here and redo that. I'll see, depending. Now, my thought process is that the stars that are further away are the purple ones, and the stars that are closer are the white yellow ones. That's just, I don't know where I thought of that concept, but that in my head, I'm like, that's what it is. And I didn't really count any of this. I also thought the stars that were closer in, so I could have a yellow, the larger ones would be kind of closer in. I didn't go too low. I thought I would go a little lower, these ones. And then just add that in. So now we're just building our planet. If you wanted to add in more planets, there actually is a little circle right here. That's another planet that you could punch out, or just punch a circle and it becomes a planet. Planets are circles. That's easy. There's also other stars on here. So if you wanted to color out some stars, that works too. And then I thought I would add in. Now, what I haven't done is I haven't counted how many I have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm going to go to 15 because you need the odd, and the planet and the spaceship to me are all part of the concept. And then just kind of look at it and see, do I have any gaps? There. Maybe move this guy up a little bit. It's a sticker, so I still can move stuff there. And that is where that comes from. I didn't use one of the tiny stars, and that's totally cool. And that's where the planetary part comes from. The only other thing I did is I added in a little bit, I need some space. And so there's some sentiments on here, and I just did it in white and popped it on. I want to leave this one plain. I don't know if I like this on here. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the sentiment on the front, or should I keep it plain just as a scene? The only thing I did on this one is on the inside. Which way where'd it go? Oh, I guess I didn't do it. Oh, no, I know what, I ripped my card. Originally, I didn't have the purple in the back, and the card looks so plain. So I actually ripped the entire front of the card off, redid the inside. So I have an old card. This was the original. You can tell I ripped everything out, and I actually did stamp "You're Out of This World." So that was the original that I just ripped the entire facing and then did the entire purple on the back. I just think it really made a difference in the look of the card by adding that layer of that matte. So the other sentiments, so you're out of this world, I need some space, whoa, I believe in you. And you could do them on the front, the back, you could have all kinds of fun. And so there they are. So this one, I did not have the trees in there, and I didn't add anywhere near as much for shakers, but you've got the black stars, you've got the purple stars, and you've got the grass that's coming up. This one, I really loaded it full because I didn't realize how much more I needed because my shaker part was much bigger than just the little window. So to see everything, and then this one, I also added some of the trees. The trees are flying up and going into outer space as well. Lots of fun. So thank you guys so much for joining me and learning how to build a scene with a shaker, or you could get rid of the shaker. It depends. I love the little cow. Moo. And it needs to have a moo for a sentiment. I think that'd be kind of cute. Really lots of fun. Building scenes are not as hard as you think if you just take it piecemeal, and if you like condense the size of the space that you're working in to try and build your scene, it actually is really easy. The other way you can do this is you can also like tilt your, I don't want to rip this up right now because it's already stuck down, but you could tilt your flying saucer. I mean, you can have all kinds of fun. I could also take away some of the stars and I could put the sentiment. So again, I don't want to take this off because it's already stuck down. It's going to rip my paper, but I could take the sentiment and I could put that up in this space. So there's lots of options, or just leave it as a scene and you've got your sentiment on the inside. Lots of ways to work it. Don't forget, I have a video hop going on right now. Woo! let me grab that card. So this is one of the super cutie cards that I made for the video hop. It is going live right now. And there is a free printable for my, there's 6 free printable sentiments that are on there. If you go to my website, erinraidmakes.com, and you enter the code PENGUIN, because they're just all about cutie penguins, then you guys can get your free printable. If you don't already have it, and heads up, it expires on the 17th. So you only have a couple more days to get your free printable, and then it goes back to you have to purchase it. So get it now before it goes away from being free. And it is my soft launch for my website. And for now, the products that I have on my store are purely just products that I make that are printables, but down the line, things might change. You never know. But thank you guys so much. Please give my video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys again later. Bye, everybody.